Welcome to Nerds, Geeks, in the Kitchen Sink. It's the podcast that's like hanging out at the video store. I'm one of your hosts, DK.
I'm Chris, your other host.
Improve if you feel like it. You could use maximum effort if you want. Just a thought.
Yeah,
That's an educated wish for you.
go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
That works too.
Hi everyone. Welcome to our Deadpool and Wolverine episode.
In honor of today's.
Oh yes, Wolverine himself. In honor of me being obsessed with
John Carpenter.
John Carpenter, just
know.
in general.
Right.
I like this. It's like a Tales from the Crypt sort of.
That is kind of cool. The way that's.
I would read that comic, but I don't think it exists. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. We have a lot to talk about today. I know people are very excited about Deadpool and Wolverine, and we're going to get there.
Right.
We have some other things to cover first. Anything, Chris, for you? Anything going on? Anything you watched?
I mean, one of the things that I did is we're gonna talk about that. Two, I got some of my stuff from Ireland.
Oh yeah,
got the old soccer scarf and some other stuff from the girls getting back from Ireland, which
very cool.
I ended up spending 9 hours at the airport because of
nonsense.
And which kind of applies today. Fuck you, Canada.
Oh, yeah. You're right, though.
It was Canadian Airline, damn it.
Fair. Yeah, that's no fun.
I spent from 1 o'clock till 10 at night at the airport waiting for. Yeah.
Yep. Damn. Yeah, I didn't do anything like that. I've been seeing a lot of movies and been busy with stuff, projects, music stuff. The Home is Midnight record we're working on is coming along. I'm very excited.
Awesome.
There's been some, like, we said it's coming out in October, but delay. Will it still happen? So far, I think we're on track, but you never know. I don't want to jinx it, but
right.
So far, yeah, really, really exciting stuff.
Awesome.
Seen a lot of movies, but anything you read, saw that you wanted that's outside of what we're gonna be talking about that you want to cover?
Not really. I've kind of watched some old stuff. I was just going back. Actually, I am prepared to read the new Jack Carr novel. So, but past that, no, not too much.
Nice.
Been bachelor in it for the last 10 days. So
right. Yeah, we've been reading a lot of comic books. I did sign up to get the new Wolverine.
Did you get your stash this weekend from the comic store?
We did, yes.
Okay.
I picked up something called Night of the Ghoul, which is a graphic novel, but I haven't read it yet. I was going to read it last night, but we ended up once again watching the Olympics till very late at night because we missed a lot of it during the day. So it's like, well, the Peacock app has like tons of Olympics. I don't know why. I'm not really into sports, but we watch the shit out of the Olympics. I don't know what it is, but let's talk about the Olympics. A band I love played the opening ceremony. Gojira is a band that have been a fan of for a long time. Saw them live in 2009 with In Flames. Boy, they're great. They played some cool stuff. I haven't seen the entirety of the opening ceremony. I know it was pretty long, but all I saw was their part. But there's like these like beheaded like princesses or whatever. It's really cool. It was awesome.
If you want to call it that.
It was metal as hell.
But
what?
That's not an Olympic ceremony. I'm sorry.
Wait, don't they go?
No offense.
Hold on. But the Olympics opening thing is like, here's some cool things about our country. But the French Revolution is huge. It's like what they're known for. Revolting.
Well, they are revolting, but yeah.
Well, we're not disagreeing.
All right.
Sorry, French people.
Yeah, not really.
I love Gojira.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a weird excitement in my life. A band I love playing at the Olympics. That's weird. Kind of like when they did London and like there was James Bond Saves the Queen. Kind of a similar excitement. Go back and see that if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I've just been playing the game The Finals.
Nice.
Like it's a job. because I
Oh,
love that game.
now I will say I have bought Rise of the Ronin,
I figured you would.
and
Have you played it much?
I've been playing it. I'm I've been playing it off and on, so I'm maybe about a quarter of the way through.
Okay. It
It
looks
reminds
beautiful.
it's gorgeous game. I don't quite like it as much as I loved Ghost of Tsushima.
It's going to be hard to top that for you, I think.
Visually,
Yeah.
I think it was a little bit of a step down, and still looks gorgeous. But I would like compare this more to, I guess, a Red Dead Redemption
Well, that's a pretty
kind of.
cool thing to compare it to, though.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean the way it's not quite as open world as what Ghost was, but it's pretty good, and
Cool.
the like the increasement and and the abilities aren't the abilities tree isn't quite as good, I think, as what Ghost was, but
Right.
I like it
Well,
a lot.
isn't
I'm
this
playing
a
the hell
this
out
is
of
a
it.
much smaller studio that made this, right? And
Yeah,
Ghost of
yeah,
Tsushima is like an insane AAA
right,
experience.
right.
There's a reason why it's
Oh
so
no, no,
well
yeah,
made and amazing.
yeah.
So, but that's cool. It's good that you can
But
even come close.
really, I've got no real complaints.
That's really good. That's really good to hear.
But
Uh,
that's a definite recommend. If you like those kind of games, it's
sure.
definitely a recommend. And I actually would say that the difficulty is maybe because of the like lack of what I consider adequate skill tree. Difficulty like a little bit lower than Dark Souls, but a little bit more difficult than Ghost.
Okay. It's a little. Is it like less forgiving?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Well, I think that's cool.
So I
Uh,
like that a lot. So
Kind of gets you in the headspace of like if you make one mistake, your arm's
yeah,
coming off.
yeah,
You're done.
pretty much.
Yeah. That's cool. It's a lot of swordplay, I assume, but like, is there a
Oh, tons.
dismemberment?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And there's a you get them to a certain point and the fear factor, and I mean, I've
Joe
taken
Rogan
and
shows up.
didn't know I've done
He makes
a
you eat worms or something.
like a midsection impalement and then like division, let's say.
Ah, I see. A
So
dissection.
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
An actual
remember
division.
the scene in 13 Ghosts where the lawyer gets nailed by the door?
Yes. I see.
Imagine that from the belly goes straight up.
All right. I
So
gotcha.
so
Pretty
yes,
cool.
it has some pretty intense.
Nice. Nice.
So
I did see a couple of movies. I saw MaXXXine, which I want to talk about just
okay.
briefly. Now, you've seen X and Pearl
Mm-hmm.
or just X? I can't remember what.
Both.
Both. Okay. I thought MaXXXine was pretty great. The thing about MaXXXine is that it's the same character from X, Maxine
Right.
Minx, right?
Right.
She does all her character growth in that. And then so Maxine is just like she is just badass Maxine the whole time, right?
Okay.
Um and I say that because that's kind of what the movie is like just a bonus fun adventure with this character.
Right.
It is not like a high stake. I mean, yeah, sure the stakes are high, but like it's not like this high stakes like she has to grow to overcome something or what. It's more of just like this is a fun 80s throwback
Yeah.
sort of slasher, sort of like Hollywood cautionary tale thing.
Okay.
With there is a slasher, there are murders happening. It's a little bit giallo. There's like, the killer has like a black glove and a knife and
Mhm.
whatever. It's cool. I liked it a lot actually. I really liked it.
So ranking between the three, where would you kind of put this one?
It's very tough because they're really different from each other. I think my ranking is X at the top and then 2A Maxine, 2B Pearl. But
Okay.
Pearl and Maxine are so different from each other.
Right.
They
Right.
really are. So it's really hard to compare those.
Well, I was just in just as enjoyment wise.
I think I like MaXXXine more than Pearl in
Okay.
that respect. Like just like because but don't get me wrong, like Pearl's a really cool, interesting movie, but MaXXXine is just fun like the whole time. It's like just absolutely fun. Um,
Well,
there's some.
it's like the conclusion because Pearl was more of like the
It's a prequel.
setup and kind of growth of the character, and then Maxine is just like this is what she is at from point one to the end of the movie.
Well,
Kind of.
yeah, Pearl. Well, the main character in Pearl is a different person.
No, I know.
But yes. Anyway, I liked it a lot. I thought
Yeah.
it was really fun, like legitimately fun. But it's not like one of those movies where I'm like thinking about. I think the real problem is that I saw it right after Longlegs,
Right. Okay.
and Longlegs has done a thing to me. But I really liked MaXXXine. It's like a super fun. Like it'll
Okay.
be great to just throw it on and like have a fun night. I thought it was just so much fun. Kevin Bacon's in it.
Okay.
He's absolutely a blast to watch. There's a really cool thing, and I this is a mild spoiler, so if you don't want to know anything, skip ahead 30 seconds.
Right.
But there's a really cool segment involving the Psycho hotel slash house. Uh, it plays into the story slightly. It's really neat. Um, Again, Kevin Bacon is a joy every moment he's on the screen. Giancarlo Esposito is awesome in this role. Uh, it's one of these things where I really expected it to be one thing, and then it turns out to be something even cooler
Well, that's
with
good.
him. Yeah,
Good.
yeah, yeah.
I'll
So
have to watch it.
it was fun. I really enjoyed it. But again, the problem I think is that I watched it so recently to Longlegs, which you did
Right.
see now,
Yes, I
right?
did
So
see.
let's talk about Longlegs.
Okay, well, by the way, let me go back for a second. I had a brain fart. I did not mean to say Pearl. I meant to say X. That's the continuation.
I don't
Anyway,
care.
yeah, I know. I do, though. Details matter, damn it.
Okay,
Okay, anyway, Long
Longlegs. Tell me
Legs.
what your
Yes.
thoughts were for Longlegs because I loved it.
I liked it a lot. There were a few little things that I kind of was. It didn't really take me out, but I'm like, I thought they could have done that a little better or
Okay,
different changes I would have made. But
okay.
otherwise, no, I liked it a lot. And it was, although I kind of had guessed like halfway through the twist at the end,
Hmm.
but, and that was one of the
Wait,
things I
well,
wish they would
okay.
have,
We're entering spoiler mode. What twist are we
yes,
talking about?
mom.
Okay, that one. That's not the one. I mine. Well, okay. I didn't guess her involvement so much as I guessed that he was in the basement.
Okay.
What even before this is what really made me this really solidified it, but the bug coming out from the locked door,
Right.
that made me go, hold on, he's in there
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. And that was another one. I wish they would have played that a little closer. They didn't give.
Well, that was the
Or
reveal
it
that
was,
I
or there would have been a little more traumatic to the reveal to it.
yeah,
It didn't
exactly.
seem like there was much of a, you know,
That was the reveal that kind of
traumatizing reaction that she had been in that house for so long with him in the basement.
yeah,
You know,
100% same. I my number one note I think is like the reveal of when she exits the basement and comes into the kitchen. Like
right,
that should have been a huge, like a much bigger shock
right,
somehow, but it just isn't.
yeah,
That's like my number one note, I think, on the movie.
yeah.
But I saw it again. I've seen it twice now,
Okay, yeah,
and I'm prepared to move it from a four, maybe even to a 4.5 or 5.
okay.
I just loved it so much, and it's the first time I watched it, I kind of felt that whiplash of like, uh,
What the hell did I just watch?
well, a little bit of that, but like I thought we were going to do Silence of the Lambs, but instead we're doing a killer doll movie in some way, like a demonic doll film.
Right,
Like I didn't expect it to do that, and at first I'm like, well, why did it? That's weird, right? But now that I kind of have the complete sense of it and really have a grip on some of the details,
right,
I love that about it. So for me, that is a in the positive category. But before, maybe I wasn't quite. I was just like, that's weird. Like it doesn't feel that satisfying. But at the same time, the more I've thought about it and like
Right.
listened to interviews with Oz Perkins, like he's sold it to me.
Yeah.
Boy, what a movie.
Now, visually, I loved it. I mean,
Holy
it's
shit.
yeah, it really was. Like I said, there may have been one or two things that I would have maybe done from a different angle, just on hindsight. And if you probably asked him, he probably said, "Yeah, maybe I would have changed this or done it from a different perspective or something on one or two small things." But yeah, for the most part, visually, this is it
About as good as it
really
gets for
gives you
me.
that it almost gives you that like you're standing there in the movie watching it perspective, that you're that ghost in the shadow watching all this play out
Sure.
from the angles that they were using.
The things that the two scenes that when I think of the visuals that come to mind immediately is like the entire thing of her in her house alone
Yeah.
when she gets the first letter,
Yep.
that whole scene in the wood and it's dark and then she turns the light on outside and you see and there's all those hidden devils floating around, which is pretty
Right.
interesting.
Yeah.
Um it's a feast for me. Just the vibes, the mood. It's just everything I want all the
Yeah.
time. It's so good. And the other scene is the when they go check out the farm
Right.
and they find the doll.
Yeah.
Everything about that, I immediately get snapped
That
into.
overhead shot was like one of the best
It's
shots.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It puts me in Silence of the Lambs mode when she goes into the storage unit and finds the body.
And just going to the like late 70s kind of color palette
Hmm.
in that, was just a phenomenal choice on his part for
And Cage,
yeah.
like I said before, it's at first I'm like, well, we've seen Cage do this before. Like this isn't really that different, but like uh, as I was rewatching it, I was like, man, this performance is wild though,
Right.
and he's 1,000% committed to this
Especially
weirdo.
the whole interrogation. That
Yep.
was probably the best aspect of all of.
And I was listening to 5 Day Rentals. They did like an emergency episode about it, and
Okay.
Bones pointed out something that I didn't notice the first time. And so when I went back to see it again in the theater, I noticed it, and I was like, "Oh, that's so satisfying." Is that when they're reviewing the tape of his interrogation,
Right.
and he's saying, "And you'll be there, and you'll be there." He's pointing to people in the room as if he can see them.
Right.
I didn't pick up on that the first time.
Oh yeah,
And
no.
Bones pointed that out to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's so
Yeah, and
cool."
kind of like he was almost speaking. That's right. I felt the same way.
Oh
So Bones,
man.
Bones, you were right. I felt the same way.
It's the
It was almost like a
birthday
live.
girl.
Yeah, it was almost like a live feed that he was seeing them through the TV.
Yeah, that's so neat. And I love the whole thing about when you see him from the waist down and he does this whole like, let me in now, whatever. He sings that song
Yeah,
and it can be nice. I can't do it. Nicolas
yeah,
Cage, you're a genius. And it's like, it like starts out hilarious and then like gets weirder and weirder and it
right.
builds and it's this strange audio thing and it's like, oh, that is uncomfortable. It's like not just it like goes from being funny to weird to unsettling
Yeah.
within the space of like 20 seconds and it's just I love it. I love it. I love it. I
I mean,
love it.
just a curious behind the scenes thing. I wonder how many takes they did on that to get that final
Yeah.
shot that was in the movie.
And
If
also
that was something that he just did right on the spot and it was a one take
the final shot
Cage thing.
when he says Hail Satan and does a kissy kiss.
Yeah.
It's really funny. We were in Books a Million yesterday and Bang a Gong came on
Oh jeez.
and it's like forever changed in my brain now. It's just like the mood in the whole store
Right.
changed. I was like, oh man, they're playing devil music in here. But that's the funny thing is like he's such a non-threatening. He's such a weenie. Like he wears white and he's like trying to be all glam.
Yeah.
He's like it's like he doesn't even get like what's cool. He's just a nerd that like for some reason the devil's like, oh, I got this guy.
But it's
In some realistic way, like that's I feel like
it's more like unsettling,
that adds something. I did hear in
And
an
I
interview, Oz Perkins was like, let's make every opposite decision that like a normal, like in a normal serial killer movie, like let's make him do
right,
everything. Like that's why he wears white.
right,
For example, he doesn't wear the dark colors.
yeah,
And he's not ugly. He's well, he is ugly, but it's because of his pursuit of beauty or whatever. I love
right.
all that. I love all that stuff.
Well, you know what? And I meant it honestly, and it's kind of not to bring it into like real world kind of thing,
Hmm.
but it's like the decisions they made on that character, almost every aspect, you hear about the people that they say that they've caught doing bad things in real life.
Sure,
Oh, he was a loner. Oh, you look at him visually, he looks kind of like this profile.
sure.
So I think that made it almost a more realistic kind of,
No, I agree.
you know,
Absolutely. It's just it's such a weird choice. I loved it. And
yeah,
we gotta also I think mention the mother was creepy. But she was also I felt that she was kind of sympathetic. So like it all kind of worked. And that reveal of her in the back window with the shotgun was,
well, you know who she is, right?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man. She's perfectly cast.
She's gone a long way from the original Dune
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
Hallmark movies.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's always been a good
She gets a
actress.
little Lynch
Yeah,
cred. Just the
yeah,
weirdness. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah, absolutely. Uh, boy, she was good. And I love the whole thing about she's doing terrible evil, but it's
right.
because she's trying to protect her child.
Yeah.
And she's just grappling with that, and she eventually it just
Starts to envelop her and she
yeah,
enjoys it to a degree.
I think so. Yeah,
That's you can see that progression in some of the flashbacks near the third of the last third of the movie.
sure.
You can see where that kind of mentality changes
And
in her.
I noticed on the rewatch, like that car that he's driving around is
Right.
there at her house
Covered up. And
it's covered up
you've
the
seen the
whole
corner of the
time.
headlight, yeah, several times.
Oh man, how cool.
Right.
So, yeah, I think the rewatch even made it better for me. I do give it quite a high score. And I hope people, if they haven't seen it, I hope we haven't ruined anything too much, but you should see it, I think. Because it is one of those things where I don't think you're gonna get many chances at seeing something like this in the theater too
I mean,
often.
honestly, yeah, this is so much of an independent movie that's getting mainstream
Now it's happening more, it
credibility.
seems
Yes,
like.
it is.
They're more accessible in the theater, but
Right,
and we recently had like In a Violent Nature was there, and we
right.
recently had Late Night with the Devil was there.
Well,
You
let's
know,
be honest. A lot. The mainstream movies have not been as prevalent in the theaters that we are getting these
doesn't
kind
it
of
seem like? And
more independent.
we were just talking about this on my front porch the other day.
Yeah,
But like, doesn't it seem like horror is just like making things happen and like
right.
consistently giving us interesting things, particularly this year? I mean, it seems to happen every year, but it seems like there's so much, and
It
I
seems
just
like
don't
it's
know.
a fire hose of those kind of things
Yes,
this year. Yeah,
but like,
compared to
there's not a whole lot of other things. Maybe I'm just not aware or paying attention. I am looking at horror specifically. That is my thing, but it just seems like consistently horror is delivering.
yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of blockbusters I care about. I mean, people are flocking to see Twisters, and that's great. I just don't.
Well, Twisters is
I'm sure
basically
it's fine.
it's a fun movie.
Sure, I'm sure
You
it's
know,
fine.
I went and saw Horizon the other day.
Uh huh.
That was a good. I'm
I
into
heard it. I
westerns.
heard it was unfortunately like a big flop. But is the movie numbers aside, was it okay? Because I don't.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I think what it is people are expecting. This is a four-part movie,
Okay.
so I think people are expecting some kind of conclusion,
Right.
and it's completely open-ended.
Maybe it wasn't clear enough that this is because
Yeah,
doesn't the
maybe
second part
that's
come out later this year?
yeah. It's
Okay.
supposed to be this fall, like September, October, something like that.
Right.
I liked it a lot because it was basically the whole aspect of the movie is it's lives revolving around like the expansion, American expansion,
Sure.
and Horizon is more of a place than the people. So it's like the lives of these people that are crossing into this place, and there's like 4 or 5 different storylines.
Would it have worked better as a miniseries?
Something like a Lonesome Dove. I think people would have gotten the concept of it a little bit better as a
Mm-hmm.
miniseries, but in all honesty, the scape of the movie is served better in the theater than it would be at home.
Okay. I can imagine big sweeping visuals and you
Well,
know,
and I think part of it is that people sometimes have certain ideas of the way things were instead of the actual reality,
sure.
so especially nowadays it's the whole, oh, cowboys are bad, Indians were always good. Nobody's really perfect in this movie. This is how reality was. There are good and bad people in every aspect.
All I can think about is when you say it so it's more realistic, I just think of like it's just cowboys taking a shit. I don't know why, but that's
No,
all I can think about.
I literally have.
They're on the range and they go,
It was
"Uh-oh,
it was the last night in the theater here in town.
dig a hole."
I mean,
I
there's
don't
that. There is that. I mean, I'm not.
I know. I'm
You
just that
know,
you're talking about the interesting aspect of the characters and the morality and all that, but I'm just
yeah.
like all I can think about is like, oh, it's realistic. Do you see them pooping?
I kid you not. In this,
I
all
want to see
all
Kevin Costner
all
get off
shit
his
jokes
horse,
aside, yeah.
run into the woods.
Well, somebody was like pissing off a bridge at one point into a creek. So I mean, close
Oh,
enough. But I mean,
sorry.
literally, the first 10 minutes of the movie is these people trying to settle in this area, and they get almost completely annihilated by Indian raiders. It was when the movie started. It was me and this older couple because it was the last night before Longlegs started,
Hmm.
and the old couple left in the first 10 minutes of
Was
the
it pretty
movie.
violent and bloody?
Yeah,
Well, I can see
but it
why. I mean,
wasn't. But it
old
did not.
people,
It
their hearts
wasn't.
are weak.
Well, no, I think it was more the aspect that those Indians were not put in a good light because I heard their comments walking out.
Oh, okay.
So, but I mean, they didn't. There wasn't like incredible, not cutting off heads or anything like that. And then like when they would scout people, they would show 'em, like grab them by the hair, and then the camera would raise up enough that you don't see them actually do it.
Hmm.
But then somebody's holding up a scalp,
Sure.
you know, or people get an arrow shot in the chest, or somebody gets shot, and but it was violent, but it wasn't like gratuitous.
Right. Okay.
But there were, it's like in the movie, just a little thing with that group that was in this tribe basically got kicked out from the elder or by the elders because of their thing. So it's like no one group is all good, all bad,
Hmm.
and yeah,
Sure.
it's just. But it was pretty violent for a modern western, and you know,
Well, if they're going for realism, that
yeah,
makes
and they
sense.
did. I mean, they absolutely did, and I thought it was a really good movie because it was just neat how like 4 or 5 different storylines were all kind of not really joining, but you can see in the outer aspects how they intertwined. I mean, it
Yeah.
was really well written so far, and I can't wait to see the second one.
Cool. Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I had read like it had not done well, but again, I that doesn't mean a whole lot to me,
Yeah,
you know. So I'd like to hear your opinion on whether or not it was good. So that's
I
cool.
liked it a lot. I mean, if you like something like Lonesome Dove or like a lot of the Clint Eastern westerns, the newer ones, not necessarily spaghetti westerns.
Yeah, he's Clint Eastwood, but shouldn't he be called Clint Westwood?
Yeah,
Come on, he's from the old
yeah, but
West.
no, but you come from the east to the west, so
Did he though? I don't know.
yeah.
I guess it depends on the movie we're watching.
I mean, depends on the if you consider Italy east.
Did we talk about? And I just keep stealing things from 5 Day Rentals, but
What?
I watched. Did I already talk about this? I watched
What?
the Gauntlet with them? Did I talk about this already?
I don't think so.
I hadn't seen any Eastwood for a while, so it was good to
Right.
see. It was good to see that movie. Have you seen the
Yes.
Gauntlet?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was fun. It was fun to
I've seen
watch.
pretty much every Clint Eastwood movie.
That's what I assumed. But yeah, no, I had a great time. 5 Day Rentals, a great show.
Yes.
Uh,
They need to watch Play Missy for me.
well, you should go on to make them do that.
Um, they don't. They
They
don't
will.
offer.
Well,
They.
they might. They might.
I'm just saying.
Well,
Bones knows.
Bones knows.
I've bitched at him.
All right. Well, let's see. Was there? What was the other thing? Was there something else? Oh, we need to cover the Comic-Con announcements.
Yes. Yes.
Let's cover those, and then we'll get into Deadpool.
Okay. Some huge news coming out of San Diego Comic-Con, especially Hall H yesterday. That was kind of the big showcase finale. Marvel was back.
Baby.
Now, did you hear that next year is probably the last San Diego Comic-Con in that area?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because of like the hotels don't want to.
They want to make more money.
They don't want to work for. Yeah, work with the con and stuff. So last year, maybe the last San Diego Comic Con.
Interesting.
Per se, at least in that area.
Sure.
We got a few glimpses of some movies. The Captain America, whatever,
Brave New World.
Brave New World, whatever, in the world.
Harrison Ford was there.
Yeah, Harrison Ford was there. We found out who Giancarlo Esposito is. He is Sidewinder, which
Sidewinder.
That's his kind of nickname. The character's name is Seth Bulker. If you know, he is the head of the Serpent Society.
That's more of a. I've heard of this, but I don't really know that much. For whatever reason, if I've read anything with that, I don't remember.
He's kind of one of those minor villains that are more of a grounded.
Sure.
And are more kind of in and out storylines when they're like almost the Serpent Society is he association with other groups.
What hero? Guys. What hero mainly deals with the Serpent Society?
It's like the Cap. It's mostly like Cap and the Avengers, and he's more of that kind of affiliated, like outside of Hydra, but kind of the same.
Makes sense. Hydra, Serpent Society.
Right. So I know they're
Slytherin. I get it.
Yeah, that movie is still slated for February 14th of next year.
The 14th. Uh-oh. Longlegs.
February 14th. I know, the birthday of a movie that may die.
It's true. It's true. Hey, Longlegs called it.
Right.
We'll see.
So
I want it to be good. We've already had this conversation, but I want it to be good. I want to see Harrison Ford in a cool Marvel movie. That would be fun.
Right.
I hope it doesn't suck. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, just all the reshoots is what worries me so much. But maybe that's a good thing, because if they've gotten, the whole scuttlebutt is they've gotten some really bad, like, out of the first viewings kind of comments, how bad it was.
Well, we'll see.
They basically like reshot this whole entire movie almost.
Well, the proof will be there when it's time. That's a phrase.
The proof will be in the red pudding.
That's right. Oh. Better or worse than green pudding?
Don't
like it.
I think they're equally bad.
Like it.
Let's just leave it at that. Yeah. Anyway, we also got some footage of the Thunderbolts.
I didn't see that.
It was shown in Hall.
Okay.
It wasn't, they actually, but it was the first couple of visuals from the like actual scenes.
Okay.
Say from Thunderbolts.
Cool.
That's another movie that's had tons and tons of reshoots. That is May 2025.
All right.
They had the first scenes of Fantastic Four.
I saw the Galactus thing. He's like looking
That
in a
was
window.
after the Hall H, the drone and fireworks show.
I didn't
Yeah.
see that. I didn't see that.
Oh, you didn't see
I
that?
saw there was a video, but I didn't click on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they had. So we know Galactus is at some point in that.
Well, I saw a leaked screen of like his eyes looking into a window. Like I
Okay,
guess there
I
was some
missed that one.
previs. I think it's previs. I don't know. I don't think obviously they haven't finished anything, but
Right.
yeah, it's like his eyes like peering in through this massive window. And it's clearly the guy from The Witch, whatever his name is. By
Right.
the way, such good casting for Galactus. His voice is perfect. I don't know how
Right.
much of his like physicality will come through, but I think
Right.
he's like really good choice for Galactus. Truly good casting for a change.
Right. At least they got one casting right. No,
I'm
I
hopeful.
just
I'm hopeful for
personally,
Fantastic Four.
yeah, personally, I mean, Reed is the only casting that and it's not because he's like that bad of an actor, because he's pretty good. I'm just tired of seeing him in everything.
I can identify with that. I can. I can.
I
But
mean,
sometimes I try to be optimistic about these, but I think maybe I'm lying to myself. But with this one, I feel this much actual optimism. I do. It's about that much. I and we'll see.
and I mean, no offense to either one of them. I'm tired of seeing Oscar Isaac and Pedro Pascal in everything.
I haven't seen Oscar in a little while. I guess Dune.
Yeah,
Well, no, I mean he's in Dune
he was
1, but
in Dune too.
I don't remember it.
That
Well, did
flashback.
there a flashback? Okay.
Yeah.
I need to
Anyway,
rewatch it. I've only seen it once.
but Dune, I wasn't. He actually was good in it. Just,
I
but I
think
mean,
he's
like
perfect in
Moon
Dune.
Knight and all that, and everything else, and it's like Star Wars, and it's like, come on, like if Marvel needs somebody, they either call Pedro Pascal or Isaac. Anything
I
with
like
Disney.
Oscar Isaac for sure,
No,
but yeah,
and like I
I don't
said,
want
I
him to play
like
every
them
role either.
both. I don't. Yeah, exactly. But no, that's July. We're getting 3 Marvel movies in
February,
2025.
February, April, July. Is that what you said?
May.
February, May, July.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
To make up for this year where it was nothing.
Nothing.
Well, just the one.
I don't. I don't count that as an MCU movie. This one this year.
Okay.
I just don't. It's a Ryan Reynolds, Sean Levy movie. It's not an MCU movie.
Okay, fair.
Anyway, and then we've got May 2027. We knew this was coming. Secret Wars.
Yes.
I skipped one because there's another add-on to the next one, the one I skipped.
Yes.
So, but and I mean, there's speculation of who's all going to be in it. So we will
Sure.
see. Then we came into which was going to be supposedly 2026. Now, mind you, this movie and Secret Wars had no month, just the year.
Yeah.
So those are still like many of the Marvel stuff that they showed a date for and never came about.
Sure.
Secret Wars.
Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah. We will never see that character probably again.
He came and went.
He came and went. Anyway, 2026 Avengers Doomsday.
Yes.
And when they introduced this movie, they had an introduction of who was going to play Doom.
Yes. I assume everyone knows this already.
Yeah. And it was Robert Downey Jr.
Yes. To me, a weird choice.
I will say that I hate this choice. I think it shits on the legacy of the last 20 years.
It is weird.
I know the whole Invincible Iron Man.
But wasn't it the other way around? Wasn't it that Doom becomes Iron Man? Not Iron Man becomes Doom.
And then that's what I'm saying, but it seems like that's what they're, because I've seen like some.
But then why would it be the same guy?
I know. I'm like, this was such a horrible choice, in my opinion.
I would love to be surprised, but it's weird to me. It does feel weird. I will admit that it feels weird. Maybe he'll be great in the movie. Maybe he'll
There
have a
is
cool
such
performance.
a just a stark difference
Stark.
between, yes, literally, pun intended, between Tony and who Victor is.
I totally agree. His
I mean,
energy is
not just
completely.
personality, but physicality. You know, I just
But if he can tap into like the narcissistic like asshole part of himself, maybe like he might be able to get close. But I don't know. Look, he's a good actor. He's a great actor, obviously.
yeah,
But he wouldn't have been my first choice to play Doom, for sure.
he would have probably been my fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, or ninth, or 10th.
I mean, it all depends on
I
whatever they're gonna come at it from some specific angle, obviously,
right,
and we just don't know what that is.
right.
We will see. I'm not like furious about this, but it is like a weird. It does feel weird to me. I agree with you. It's just kind of like,
I
where
personally
did this
feel
come
this
from?
is just them trying to get people to come back to MCU that have said, fuck y'all, I'm taking my ball and leaving.
Yeah,
When
but
it
it doesn't
comes
make
to,
any sense.
but
I
that's
I I agree that it
it's
doesn't
like,
make sense. If he's great, I'll shut up. But it just to me right off
uh,
the bat seems weird.
it, it- you know,
He's gonna do an accent?
I mean, are they still like leaning hard into this whole multiverse shit?
I don't know.
They
After
need to stop.
I don't know. After
I
Deadpool and
mean,
Wolverine,
yeah,
there was some pretty serious words said about that. So
yes.
I don't know.
That's why I said I don't feel like this when Deadpool Wolverine was less of an Marvel MCU movie than it more was a, you know, Ryan Reynolds shitting on the MCU.
Well, there was plenty of that.
Some, yeah. But I mean, yeah,
Like
this
Kevin
just
Costner.
yeah, it just makes no sense in a whole,
Yeah.
literally. Yeah. Yeah,
Anyway, I
but
agree. It's a weird decision.
I, I
I'm not going
just
to sit here and be like screaming about it. I'll hear them out, but it is a weird choice. I
yeah.
agree.
Like I said, I'm just the physicality of it, of Doctor Doom, of what he is in the comic books, what he's always been. He's this very large, imposing
Yeah,
character, and that ain't RDJ. I
I
mean,
agree.
no offense to him, that's not him. Even in the
He
Iron Man
he is
suit,
Iron Man. There's
I
a
mean,
reason why he's Iron Man. He needs
right.
that suit.
He's not Hulk or Thor
No.
or even Captain America's,
No. Weird.
I'm expecting somebody at least physically 6'2", 6'3" plus, big guy.
Hmm. Very
I
strange.
just, yeah, it's I don't know where they're gonna go with this. I'll like you said, I'll hear them out. I just don't they have to win me over. I don't have high hopes of it right now
Sure. I'm not
with
going
this
in loving
aspect.
that decision for
No,
sure. I'm
at
with you.
all.
I'm with you here.
They're gonna definitely have to convince me on that decision.
Sure. And look,
And
maybe I'm being dumb. Maybe it'll be
yes,
super obvious and totally work, but just, you know, one of those things where
right.
I question that one.
Now they did also post a logo, but no date, no nothing of a giant X-Men X with an Avengers A in the middle of it.
X-Men versus Avengers. Avengers
And that's
versus
what it,
X-Men.
yeah. But they don't have any kind of a year or anything, so maybe that's something that will lead into Secret War
Yeah, it makes sense.
or outside of after
Yeah.
Secret War.
Makes sense for it to be beforehand. So they all have beef, like prior beef,
Right.
you know. Yeah, that's interesting. But
But
do you want to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine?
let's go for it.
Okay. Unless there wasn't anything else big, was there?
No, not really. No.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, that's obviously why people are listening today. Deadpool
yep.
versus Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine. Sorry, not versus.
Right.
Sorry,
No.
they're being bro. Oh, there was plenty of that. Obviously, we're going to do major, and there are major spoilers. So if
Yes.
you're even considering seeing Deadpool and Wolverine,
And I haven't yet.
probably just see it.
One, why the hell haven't you seen it already?
Probably just see
Two,
it.
yeah.
So yeah, I went to the movies yesterday to go see that. There it is, Deadpool and
Nice.
Wolverine.
Nice.
Um,
I went opening night. the early night.
I went there, as people in the Discord know, on opening night as well, but to see Longlegs again. I had no idea that it was playing there that night.
Yes.
I was like, why are there so many people here? Not this many people here to see
Except that I
Longlegs.
told you I
I know,
have an extra
I'm
ticket.
an idiot. Oh God. Anyway,
But shout out to local Dylan Clark, local author. Saw him at the showing. We were in the same movie, so.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's get our opening thoughts out of the way.
Okay.
You go first.
Loved it.
Spoiler time, by the way.
Spoiler time.
Because once again,
Okay.
spoiler time. You loved it.
I loved it. There were a couple little things that was okay, but for the most part, I loved the movie. There were so many, as a huge X-Men comic book fan,
Sure.
especially the opening montage,
All the Wolverines.
all the Wolverines,
They
the
give you so many
covers.
things.
Oh my
Exactly.
god! The Australian, the one where he was crucified on the X.
Yes, but that's such an
Was like
iconic
my
cover.
favorite. I literally that night had to come back and go look at because I have all those
Yeah,
covers.
that's an iconic cover. And you know what? They nailed it.
Yes, they did.
They absolutely nailed it.
I love the
And they
Age of
nailed
Apocalypse
Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Which one?
The Age of Apocalypse Wolverine.
Oh, with one hand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the freaked out hair.
It's crazy. I couldn't believe that I was seeing that one on the screen.
I know. That was awesome.
Because when I started, that was about the time when I first really started reading comics.
Right.
He was huge. It's like 90, early 90s, right?
Yeah, like 93.
So when I'm picking up comics, that's what Wolverine looks like to me, like in the in the current ones.
Right.
So that's not my favorite. I think my favorite Wolverine, honestly, is the like brown and yellow.
Yeah.
When he's a little more raggedy. And,
which we got to see that one.
Yes, we did. It was
the brown and yellow was around the time of like Fall of the Mutants.
That's a little earlier. Yeah.
The Outback Mutants.
But I love that look for him.
Yes, that was awesome.
The look of him.
Costume.
Have we talked about this? There's a Charleston Chew tie-in comic book. Do you know about this? I'm gonna look this up.
Let me see. Look it up.
And this, for some reason, this is like my idealized Wolverine. Maybe because I read it so many times, but like this is like my absolute idealized Wolverine in my mind for some reason. Is this gonna? Oh, here we go. Yeah. Open a new window. Here we go. Let me share this to you.
Okay.
And there it is.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you've ever. I mean, I've
seen the cover.
It would be weird if you knew this, but yeah,
no, I know. I've seen the cover. You know,
he is. Look at him. He's short,
right?
But he's super jacked. He is super hairy.
Right.
I love the huge arms and legs.
Yeah.
And you can see that he's gotten some damage onto his mask here, but he is like, look how far out those go. Yeah. They just make him look crazy but like a really, really dangerous animal man.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
And in this comic, it consists of mainly him getting the shit kicked out of him and getting up and coming back and getting up and coming back to save Jubilee. Right. Basically, the comic is like they get trapped in the danger room and it's like malfunctioning.
Okay.
And it's just kicking their asses and he's trying to save Jubilee. It's not like an amazing comic book, but some of the art is like, for me, like that's Wolverine in some way, Now I know there's more iconic looks for him. The one where he's on the cover and he's got the claws and he's, the one. I forget what book it actually is. But
it's Wolverine 1.
It's so iconic, obviously that's amazing. But
which I have that one.
I love this. This is just for me. I wonder if did you see the new, or is it still showing you the same?
No, it's showing me your whole list of you.
Okay, yeah. I'm just wondering if there's any other panels in here that you can see here. I wish that wasn't so. Yeah, I
see over. There's some, like there, the main one I saw.
Yeah.
There's a couple of the pages. Oh, like in the middle on one of the rows you just flipped up.
This one here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really see it too well, but anyway, people should check this out. It's fun. He's there. You can kind of see here.
Right.
He's just getting hammered. But look at the detail of like all the hair on him and all
Right.
the curvature of the muscles and like I'm trying to point with my fingers here. Look how huge his mask is. Like it goes beyond Batman. It's
Right.
crazy. So yeah, it's just him. Anyway, I just love it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those weirdo favorites of mine.
Well, that was like the Secret Wars outfit, the brown in mustard.
Yep. Which is again one of my early that was one of
Right.
the first like events that I did for Marvel was Secret
Right.
Wars, which is why I'm so fond of it.
Yeah.
Uh boy. Anyway,
But
my
then
general,
we actually got the short Wolverine, and that
it's
was
so funny because
hysterical.
yeah, I do think yeah, that was definitely directly to the fans like you really wanted this?
Yeah.
I love that. Um
And just
yeah,
like the old man Wolverine. That was an awesome, just quick shot of that one.
literal quick shot.
Iconic. The Cavalrine was awesome.
Yep. And I love that he was like, we'll treat you better than those guys down the street. Yeah, that was good. That was really
So
good.
that was
Um,
awesome. And then the iconic Hulk, we got to see Hulk.
for two
We
seconds
didn't
when
get
he
to
was
see a
there,
fight, but we got to see Hulk.
they couldn't afford a fight. I get it,
Yeah, no.
but
And
it
then the
was
shot, the iconic cover shot. You saw Hulk's reflection
yep,
in his claws. That was perfect.
yep, it really was.
So
But my general thoughts were, I had a lot of fun at the theater. I had a blast seeing this movie. Like you've already been saying, there are so many, and like I've been telling my wife for the last 24 hours, I have. Everyone should feel sorry for her. But I'm just sitting there going, oh, and this was this, and that was this, and this was this. So many things. It is paying homage to what 25 years of X-Men movies and even more comics. I mean, all the way
this
back.
was paying respect to the original fans who loved the characters
Yeah,
for who they were, not some other new, you know, iteration. This is a love letter to the fans, and this is going to make a shit ton of money
yeah,
and of this movie.
for sure it is.
If Marvel does not get the hint, this is what people want to see.
It's super fun. I mean, and that's
They
it. It's
want a
super
fun
fun.
movie. There were stakes involved in this. It wasn't, but it's like give the people what they want. I mean, just they're gonna come. They're gonna come watch it. They're gonna come see it.
Sure.
Make it fun. Make it what they want. Respect the characters.
Yeah, no, it was
And
good.
even at
Although one
times when
character
they
was
were
very
kind of quote
disrespected.
unquote disrespecting, they were
Well,
respecting the nature of the character.
I
You know
think we're
what I'm
talking about the
saying?
same guy, maybe.
Yeah.
So we'll get there. But
Yeah.
so yeah, but just general, I had a lot of fun. It was a delight to see
Right.
some returning characters.
Yes.
It was a delight to see some of those amazing shots, like you said,
Yeah.
those comic book covers and just like different versions of Wolverine that we never got.
Right.
But that we know, from so many years of
Yeah.
doing this. Uh, boy, I will just say in general, I had a lot of I had a lot of fun, and that's all I could really ask for. Uh, it was
I would
great.
say quite a while. This is the first Marvel movie since probably after Endgame.
Guardians 3 was the last one that I was
Guardians
like,
3, it was pretty fun, but there were some I was like, This is the last movie since Endgame that I pretty much had fun through the entire thing.
because it was fun and funny.
That's what I'm saying.
It
I
was.
mean, and I enjoyed the entire movie.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, you want to go through the plot?
Let's go through it.
All right. We're going to go reading the Wikipedia breakdown. So thank you to
Okay.
Wikipedia. I know you guys listen. Mr. Pedia.
Yeah.
In 2018, Wade Wilson uses Cable's time traveling device to travel from his timeline, Earth 1005, to Earth 616, the sacred timeline,
Right.
where he meets Happy Hogan and requests to join the Avengers, but is rejected. Now, right off the bat, if we're doing weird cameos from old movies and whatever,
Right.
Bones brought up a good point. Why was there not a Jon Favreau Deadpool? Wasn't he Foggy? Was he Foggy Nelson in
Yeah,
the Daredevil movie?
yeah.
Why wasn't he also Foggy? Wouldn't
Well,
that have been cool?
he could have been dead. Remember?
Yeah, but I'm just saying we have Favreau. Hey, while you're here, can we
Right.
come up with 2 seconds of something where you are still
Well,
that
I
character?
think because of another character that came up,
That's why it would have made
they
sense.
kind of, well, no, because that would have actually been a different Foggy.
Are we talking about Jennifer Garner?
Yes.
Okay, but
Because that
my
would have been a different Foggy. No, oh no, no.
but if he would have seen, no, that's the
Never
same
mind. You're
Foggy.
right. You're
So
right. Oh, I'm
if it
sorry.
could have been like
I was thinking the show for some reason.
it could have been him like I don't know, looking for a Wolverine in Daredevil's world.
Right.
He meets Foggy, and he says, "Oh, Foggy goes, have you seen Elektra? I can't find her anywhere." And then we find out that she's been taken to the. I mean, whatever, something.
Right.
But it's just an interesting idea to me that they could
Right.
have used him for that and didn't. Although I did love to see him back as a Happy.
Yeah.
He
I think he
anytime,
worked better as Happy, in all honesty, for
yeah,
that aspect, just because of him trying to become a Avenger.
yeah.
The whole having to get, wanting some kind of meaning or whatever, and then having kind of given him that, well, we're not looking for anyone at this time, kind of, HR,
It is funny that he's like
you know,
gatekeeping the Avengers, and he's definitely not one of them.
right.
Uh,
And Wayne does point that out several times.
yes, that was pretty good. Um, yeah, and they make a comment that's like not even about Tony Stark, really. It's about Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah,
do these anymore.
yeah,
uh 6 years later, Wade has retired from being the masked mercenary known as Deadpool and is working as a used car salesman after breaking up with his girlfriend Vanessa Carlisle. During his birthday party, the TVA, well, the Time Variance Authority,
yes,
captures Wade and brings him to Mr. Paradox, who offers him a place on Earth 616. However, Paradox also reveals that Wade's timeline is deteriorating as a result of the death of James Logan Howlett, who is revealed to be the timeline stabilizing anchor being. Wade steals Paradox's tempad to travel the multiverse to find a variant of Logan to save his timeline.
right,
A pretty simple and effective use of the Loki TV show, the things that all set up.
right.
I don't feel that you need to have seen Loki here.
No.
It's like you get the idea.
Well,
It's pretty simple.
if you saw the season two, he wouldn't have been there.
Right, but what I mean is like people who maybe didn't watch Loki, I don't think this is going to matter to them at
No.
all.
I mean, in all honesty, if you did watch Loki, you really don't know what the TVA is, and you really probably didn't care that much anyway.
But also the concept of that like wasteland, what are they called? The limbo,
Oh shoot.
whatever it's called. That's
Yeah.
all from Loki. But what I'm saying is like I really don't think, because they give you a decent explanation, they just go, "Oh, this is where all this stuff goes
Right.
after it's been
There
done.
was
It's
enough
done."
explanation
I don't
itself
think
in
it
the
needed
movie.
more. Yeah.
No.
Um, I liked the guy who played Paradox. He was a perfectly slimy dude.
He's fine. I'm not. You're more into Loki and the TVA than I
Sure.
was.
I think the
So
Loki show is a lot of fun. It scratches that Doctor Who itch,
yeah.
which I don't have too often, but every so often
Then
I turn
Doctor
on it.
Who hasn't scratched in a while
Well,
himself.
I just watch what's his name? The guy with the scarf. He's my favorite.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I like, the old ones.
Right.
Um After encountering various Loki variants, Wilson takes one back to the TVA.
You
I
mean
said
Wolverine
Loki. I said
variants?
Loki, but it says Logan. It says
Oh,
Logan, sorry.
yes.
After he takes one back to the TVA, where he learns that this particular Logan is considered the worst Wolverine in the multiverse. After an argument, Paradox prunes them both into the void. There, Wilson and Logan fight before they and Johnny Storm. Huge reveal.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had no idea. The only one that was spoiled for me was the Elektra one.
Right.
And it was just as a rumor I read online like a long time ago, like, oh, there's a rumor that she's going to come back. And I was like, that's so weird. What?
Right.
But
No, the one that there were two that I knew about, X-23. I
well,
knew
yeah,
about
but she ended up in the trailer
Anthony
like the
Keene in
week
it.
before.
Yeah. But I knew before that. The two that surprised me that I had no idea until I saw the movie.
We know.
We know.
We know.
We'll get there. Yeah.
But yeah, so he shows up and Deadpool's like, oh, here we go. This is all going to be great. He's like, say it, Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
But it's Flame On, because
Right.
it's Johnny Storm and
Yeah.
not Captain America.
My only thing was is I know he was in there just for comic relief, which you would think like, okay, why would you need comic relief for Deadpool and Wolverine? Because
Right.
Deadpool is nothing but comic
But
relief.
it's also a cameo and a fan service
Right.
thing, and it
But
just works on many
my
levels.
only thing was is Johnny was there for a while. How did he not know Pyro did that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good
I mean,
guy.
you know what I'm talking about,
Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me though. Uh, the whole thing about him talking shit,
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Um, so they're captured and taken to Cassandra Nova, the twin sister of X-Men leader Charles Xavier.
Yes.
Cassandra, let me read this last sentence and we'll talk.
Okay.
Cassandra, who was pruned as an infant but made a deal with the TVA to stay willingly in the void, kills Johnny and leaves Wade and Logan to be consumed by Eliath, uh, although they manage to escape. First of all, Cassandra Nova.
Yes.
I went in thinking she's not that much. She's never been that interesting to me. I kind of knew who she was. I don't think of her as this big bad or whatever. But I have to say that I enjoyed her in this movie.
And
I
I think
liked
the
her.
actress that portrayed her did a
She was,
good, awesome job,
yep.
and bringing more interest. Being making that character more interesting.
I love the touch of her reaching into your skull.
Which
That,
that's an aspect from the books.
but
That's
the way they were able to show it to you, the
yeah,
way they were able to actually do it and make it look cool.
right.
One of Bones's notes that he's Bones from did I already say this on the show? Bones from 5 Day Rentals. I asked him, in passing, like, hey, do you want to come talk about Deadpool? And he's like, well, I can't make it, but here are some thoughts I have.
Yeah,
And one of his thoughts was that the visuals were mainly pretty great in this
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Um, he only had one or two little complaints, but I think in particular the Cassandra Nova stuff looked
Right,
great. I loved when she's pulling Paradox around like a bowling ball, like just
right.
hands in the skull, just dragging him around.
Yeah,
I thought that was
that
really
was really
cool.
good.
So yeah, she's great. They're inside of a dead Ant-Man.
Which Paul Rudd finally aged.
Finally. Yep. But yeah, she yanks off Johnny Storm's skin, very comically.
Yeah,
Funny to see that. Anything else about that moment?
just the banter between when Wade was saying about how much shit talking Johnny was
And Wolverine's like,
doing.
"Shut up! Just stop!
Yeah,
Leave! Just leave! This isn't getting us anywhere. This isn't helping."
right. Yeah,
Pretty good.
yeah.
Following their escape, Logan and Wade meet a variant of Wade called Nice Pool, who gives them a car,
Oh
which
my
they
god,
then drive to the Void's borderlands, where the resistance against Cassandra is located.
the Subaru jokes of many.
Uh, Nice
Well,
Pool is pretty funny looking.
yeah,
He's got gorgeous long hair. It's just Ryan Reynolds.
right.
He can. What do they say? He can brush up against the fourth wall.
Yeah,
He looks at the camera and just says the proposal. Pretty good.
right.
However, Logan chastises Wade for hiding the fact that he is unable to fix Logan's timeline, leading to a fight that leaves them both unconscious. This was maybe my favorite thing in the movie. It was one of my favorites. That fight in the car that went on for a long
Right.
time
Yes.
was very bloody. They could have gotten out of the car to fight, but they staged this whole thing in this car.
And they went back into the car to fight.
Yes, it was really funny,
Yeah.
and it leads right into them just being driven away, which is funny. But I just thought that was my
Well,
favorite.
the shot before they're driven away,
He's tied up in the belt
in
buckle
every
and he's just
seat
passed
belt
out.
in the thing. Yeah.
Yep, that was good.
Yeah.
So they're both unconscious. Laura drives them to the borderlands where they meet resistance members. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here's where I felt some feelings.
Yeah.
Elektra, Gambit, and Blade.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. Holy shit.
Blade still looked awesome.
I had no idea he was going to be in this. Truly,
I
I would
heard rumors, but it was among some of the other rumors that I had heard, it was kind of placed in there.
I
But
had no
I
idea.
had heard rumors that Wesley Snipes was going to be.
I had no idea, and I was so glad to see that. Holy shit. My number one bummer about this is, did you notice the glaring thing that was missing?
What's that?
He did
Oh,
not have his sword. He didn't have his sword.
did he?
No, didn't
Oh
have it.
well. Hmm.
He actually walks into the room and takes a different
Oh, he had
sword.
the big knife. Yeah.
Yeah, he did not have his sword. And I wonder why that is. Is there some weird like rice? Like they couldn't get
Yeah, I
that
don't know. Maybe
sword?
that.
Like
Yeah.
interesting, right? I don't know why that was. And it's not that important, but it kind of is. Like that's his sword. Like that's it.
Right.
I don't understand why he didn't have it. It made me sad. But anyway, not to take away from how cool it was that
Right.
he was there at all. And Gambit, that was fun
Oh my
since
God.
he never got to play Gambit.
Yeah.
I think it kind of proves that, like, was he ever the right choice? I never really thought so, but
I
they
would
make him
have to
look
say
good.
though. I would have to say though, in the fight scene that he has,
It's fun, it's cool, and
it did damn well, and he played it well.
they go
Would
out of
he
their
have been
way.
perfect off fighting? Eh.
They go
You
out of the
know.
way to make him look as good as they can for his. He's just. I think of Gambit as a taller, skinnier
Yeah.
guy.
He's a little
Um,
more buff than what I would
he was
expect.
more buff, Channing Tatum, and look, he was fun, and I
Yeah.
liked his performance. So like, I'm not really saying anything. It's like
And the jokes, from Deadpool with the did you go to a dialect coach or
very funny. Yeah, there was a
yeah.
lot there.
Yes.
Um, and I think they gave each person kind of their due.
Right.
Elektra got some, Blade got some, Gambit got some.
Yeah.
Um, that
I
was
I loved the interaction between Hugh Jackman and Daphne Keane as X-23.
now I will admit that I got up to pee during that moment.
Oh my god.
So I know I missed like the complete like all the pathos in the entire movie, right?
Yeah.
So the Resistance, dubbed the Others by Wade,
Right.
proposes an alliance with him and Logan to fight Cassandra, but Logan refuses to cooperate. However, he eventually relents after a conversation with Laura, aka X-23,
Yeah.
about his inability to save the X-Men in his universe. I missed that whole thing. Wade and
Oh my
Logan,
god.
Wade, Logan, and the others go to confront Cassandra, and they manage to block her powers by placing Juggernaut's helmet on her head. I loved. There's a lot there. Let's go back a little bit because their whole trip there,
Right.
right as they're getting in, Blade says gun,
Yeah.
and they hand him the like rocket launcher or whatever it is, and like, oh,
Yeah.
the Punisher had that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's been like 5 Punishers, and Blade says, only ever been one Blade, only ever going to be one Blade.
And looks into the camera.
Oh my god, I love it so much. And like,
Yeah.
look, I still am hopeful for more Blade and all that, and I know there will be eventually more Blades, but in a way,
God damn,
that is
bring
absolutely true.
Wesley Snipes back. He proved in his fight scene he can still do the shit.
Only ever going to be one Blade, baby. God, I love it. And I was wearing a Blade shirt. I had
Yes, I
no idea.
know.
It was a complete accident. Uh, I was in
Right.
shock to see Blade. Anything I could get.
Yeah.
People know this. I'm a huge. He's my favorite. I love Blade so much. I
Yeah.
love those movies. Holy shit. So great to see that. And you did get to see plenty of action from them.
Yes.
Obviously, I always wanted to see more. I
Right.
want to see more Blade. I want to see
And
more
I mean,
Elektra.
even with Jennifer Garner, I was pretty impressed, and she held her own, and you can tell the way they were shooting it. It was her doing a lot of
She
that
looks
fight
great.
choreography.
She looks awesome. I mean,
Yep.
they all looked really good.
I loved the fact that they played some of the Logan stuff with Laura Kinney going at it. Daphne Keane. They need to bring her into the MCU as well because I think she would be great in that role too,
Yep.
moving forward.
Yep. Bones had a thing in his notes to me.
Okay.
He thinks that maybe the order of the cameo reveal should have been changed as they're walking into the room.
Right.
Um, he thinks it should have gone Gambit, Elektra, Blade.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe Elektra, Gambit, then Blade.
See,
I don't know.
I would have almost gone Electro Blade then Gamut like it
That's
was
what it was. Yeah.
because of the fact that it was, like almost order of appearance.
Well, I think really what we're
Because we
talking
knew
about
about
is,
Elektra.
yeah,
Blade, is that guy. But the thing is, with Channing Tatum, he was and never was.
he's a major surprise. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But I
I mean,
think
that's why I see why.
my thinking is, who is the fan favorite? Elektra is really cool to see, but I just
Right.
don't think she's a fan favorite. And no offense or anything, she's a cool character, and I think Jennifer Garner is like one of the best parts of that movie.
And she did make a Ben Affleck Daredevil joke.
Yes, she did, and that he's dead, right? That
Yeah.
he's dead.
Yeah.
But
She's like, nobody cared.
yes, but no offense, but I think if we're talking about who's the fan favorite here, I think Elektra should be first because it is cool that she's there, but that's an interesting surprise. I think of
Right.
her as like, oh, that's an interesting choice. And then Channing Tatum is like, whoa, what? And then you get the huge, just, the final killing blow of, oh my God, Blade just walked into this room and it's
Well, and I
Wesley
think that's
Snipes.
why they did the order they did, is because they knew Wesley was the, Blade fan favorite, but putting somebody that never was
Mm-hmm.
as that last one to actually see them.
I could have gone for more of those, by the way. Give me some more Never Was.
Well, she
I
even
mean,
like
we saw
mentioned
some,
like Quicksilver, and but he died,
yeah.
and there
Well,
was
I
a
just
couple
mean,
other ones, and
I
she
would have
mentioned that.
liked. I think I would have liked to see more celebrities as these heroes. I mean, we did get to see, Henry Cavill as X-Men, as X-Man. He's
X
the
Men,
X-Man.
the
Yeah.
X Men, which I love
That
that.
kind of
If
thing.
he's not going to do it anymore, he looked awesome in that.
Sure. People complaining about Hugh being too big, though. Cavill's so
Well,
big.
Henry is actually like just as tall, but he's got the arms that
Yes, he
would fit
does.
more in the, you know what I'm saying, in the
Put him in that
Wolverine, like
brown and
that
yellow.
brown outfit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
baby. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, I just thought, yeah. Anyway, where
But there
are
were
we?
like small details like in their outfits. If you noticed, Wesley's outfit looked more like the introduction to Blade in
It
the
was different.
comics
Yep.
than it was. And then obviously Channing Tatum's Gambit was straight out of his introduction into from the 80s.
I could not
And
have
then
asked for a better looking Gambit.
even
Truly.
Laura's, her with the big boots and the gray pants,
Mm-hmm.
that's a staple in her outfit in the comics.
Yep.
So
Absolutely. It's fun to see Juggernaut, though it wasn't.
it wasn't Vinnie Jones.
No, it wasn't the guy we wanted. He didn't say anything about I'm the Juggernaut bitch, which may be good to leave that in the past. But
Yeah.
at one time, that was huge. They totally destroyed Juggernaut. Pretty funny to see him go that way, but I don't really buy it. But at the same time,
Right.
it was funny to see.
Yeah.
Cassandra is betrayed and injured by Pyro, which we didn't even talk about Pyro.
Yeah.
Again, that's one of those things where like my wife was like following along, but she had no idea that this guy 20 years ago was Pyro. And
And then we didn't talk about any of the bad guys.
there's so
We got
many.
Ray Park's Toad.
Yes.
The big fight. Tyler Mane is Sabretooth.
Yep.
Which
For a moment.
I will say, I was wrong. It was Sabretooth fight. But I was also right because we did get Hulk. We just didn't get to see him go at it.
That's right. That's right.
But just the decapitation of.
Yep. Wolverine has had enough.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And then also we got from Fox X-Men, the newer Azazel.
Yep. Absolutely.
And then there were a couple of X-Men from the X2.
Yep.
Because their version of
Psylocke was there. Absolutely.
And then the big guy with the I don't know if he was supposed to be a strong guy.
I didn't notice a strong. Trust me, I would have noticed a strong guy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The guy with the striped tank top that had that big ass hammer.
That's an interesting, because I did think to myself, should I know who that is?
Because that's what I was thinking. I'm like,
the person I thought of was the assassin from Punisher.
I know, that's what I thought too.
Isn't it
That
funny?
wasn't.
I thought that, but there's no way that's who it was supposed to be. But I just didn't.
But I think that was like Kevin Nash or something, wasn't it?
Yes, I think you're right. Or no, was that
No, not Kevin Nash.
was that Kevin Nash is in one of them?
No, he was the Russian.
Yeah. No, you're right. But I'm also now thinking of somebody from Blade 3, a wrestler, Triple H.
Yeah, Triple H.
He wasn't there, but I don't know why I was thinking of that. But anyway, I'm confusing myself.
I mean, there's nothing but sunlight there.
Big
he would have died. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. You know what? Blade 3 is worth turning on, but it's still not gonna do like Blade 1 and 2 does.
No, but they did address that between Deadpool and Blade making a comment.
What was it?
Remember that one?
I think
something about working together, and he turns around and is like,
I forget what he said though.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it wasn't exactly it, but in essence, go fuck yourself.
Yes, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says we should work together again or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, Logan convinces Wade to remove the helmet, allowing Cassandra to heal and open a portal back to Wade's timeline. She could have made the portal a little closer.
Yeah. Maybe that was intentional to make it closer where they couldn't necessarily get to it.
Who do you think the wizard was that she killed? Do we think it was Doctor Strange? Was that the implication, or was it someone else? Yeah. Was it like Wong? Strange. It could have been anyone though. She doesn't name them.
Yeah.
It could have been any of those guys.
Or maybe it was what's his face?
Ed?
No.
Doesn't he get one of those?
Well, yeah. No, Peter's friend.
Ed.
I didn't think
isn't his name Ed? Ned.
Ned.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. So Ned. Sorry.
Yeah, Ned.
The guy in the chair, the man in the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, upon arriving on Earth, Wade and Logan find that the Paradox is using the Time Ripper, a device he developed to mercy kill timelines, and which he plans to use on Wade's timeline without permission from his superiors. Cassandra quickly learns from Pyro before executing him about that. I read that wrong, but that's where she learned it from. She arrives through another portal and kidnaps Paradox. She plans to take control of the Time Ripper to destroy all timelines, leaving only the Void as revenge for Paradox's betrayal. Cassandra then summons an army of Deadpool variants to battle Wade and Logan. But Wade, that scene we should talk about.
Yeah.
A lot of fun variants.
Yeah.
Some insane ones.
Deadpool.
Yep. The cowboy.
I was this close to buying the Deadpool popcorn bucket at AMC.
I wouldn't have.
But I was like, it was like $40, and I'm like,
that's pretty cool though.
Yeah. It had the little propeller on top of its hat and everything.
Yep. That's pretty good. There was a cowboy Deadpool. There was obviously Lady Pool.
Matthew McConaughey.
I thought so. I leaned over and said to my wife, I think that's McConaughey.
Yeah. Lady Deadpool that we've seen the shots of, and that was confirmed as Blake Lively, his wife.
I figured, but I had no idea.
The Kid Pool was hilarious.
Yes, very
There's
good.
Apparently way more lines from Kid Pool
that they've
cut out. That maybe they may have like an hard R version of this movie.
It's already pretty hard R.
Yeah.
I will say at this point that before the movie started, a woman walked in with some very young children.
Ooh.
And they stayed the whole time.
Ooh.
And it truly, the first few minutes of the movie, I was finding myself being upset because these kids were two boys, like 6 years old, maybe, should not have been there. No.
Especially not the first couple of minutes.
Oh, and we didn't even really talk about, I also love that first moment when he digs up we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
That all the action in that segment, that sequence, amazing. So many good kills.
The dance sequence was hilarious.
The dancing, the song, I truly was like this. It sets the tone for what you're going to get. Super violence and stupid.
Yes.
Stupid comedy. And I thought that whole credits sequence was great.
It was fun.
It's that whole opening thing when he digs him up and he's like, "Oh, that's not how the healing factor works. He's going to be alive," and it's just a skeleton that he's just continually taking apart.
Right.
I thought that was, I love that. I thought that the action was definitely a bump up from anything we've seen in Deadpool, even.
Yeah.
And I think it's, I can't directly say, oh, it's because John Wick or whatever, but I do think like John Wick has set the bar so high for this kind of an action thing.
Right.
And I think you kind of have to go at least meet or exceed that bar, or people are going to go, action was kind of lame.
Right.
Like look at John Wick. Look what Wick is doing.
Right.
So I think that there's definitely some influence there. And I thought that whole intro was just phenomenal. I would just watch that part again. I love that.
That's what, remember we watched the Logan the Wolf? That's the kind of violence and fight we saw, really. That kind of stunt work and fighting and, sheer gore violence that
just great. Just a lot of comic book fun.
Right.
Anyway, the Deadpool variants battle Wade and Logan.
Right.
But Peter convinces them all to retreat.
Although we did kind of skip over that Nice Pool.
Doesn't have a healing factor.
And Dog Pool. Yeah.
Dog Pool was great.
Right.
A real dog that really looks like that. Very fun.
That was, I think it was voted as ugliest dog in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, some of the interviews that Ryan's talking about, they had to put like salmon paste in his mouth for when the dog was licking him. And he's like, it's a 2-pound, not only is it the salmon paste, and that should be an experience no one should ever have.
Yeah.
This dog's 2-pound tongue slathering around in there.
Yep. Oh, yeah. A lot of that. Paradox tells Wade and Logan that one can disrupt the power flow of the Time Ripper at the cost of their life.
Right.
Using their bodies as conductors, Wade and Logan destroy the Time Ripper, killing Cassandra. I did like the Star Trek reference there. I also enjoyed him not being able to just do it, like he's being dumb in the window.
We kind of got a little of the Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
I thought that too.
Reference in that.
Yep.
And we got
it's called a diversion, asshole, or whatever he says.
Yeah. We got one of the best scenes of a costume ever.
The mask coming on.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. It was really good to see. It was fun to see.
Awesome to see.
Bones had in his notes he wasn't sure about the eyes. I do think that the thinking is that they match the Deadpool eyes.
Well, in the comics, he has the white eyes in the same way with like some of the, a lot of the Batman stuff.
Yep, I agree. So, that's generally how it is.
And they played it fine. I didn't have an issue with that because I'm used to it. 1, from Deadpool mask, from 2, from
Spider-Man has it too.
Spider-Man has it. I wasn't real upset by that.
Yeah,
so
but I get it.
But just the fact that he had it like a hood and put over, like, And
I did like his little speech about like why he's finally proud to be wearing that suit and doesn't take it off. That was cool.
Yeah. The only kind of CGI spot that I thought was kind of goofy, and you can tell, was them jumping out of the back of the bus window. Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. When he jumps into the window.
No, when they jump out of the back of the bus window.
Oh, the bus.
Yes.
Yes, I did notice it there, but I felt the worst shot in the movie as far as like CGI quality was when Wolverine jumps into, when they're having the car fight and he jumps back into the car. There's a shot of him like coming through the window, and I thought it looked pretty bad, but it was like two actual seconds, not even.
I was saying, same video. With the only thing is they did it slow-mo of them jumping out of the back of the bus, which, in all honesty,
but that was part of the joke that he doesn't land
that's an almost impossible position for somebody to be in real life, but it's such an iconic shot from the comic book.
But it's very Wolverine.
That's why I kind of let it pass.
I agree.
It's just one of those you can really tell. But the fact that Deadpool, like, you know, eats dirt when
Yeah.
he lands on that, and Wolverine stands up fine was is perfect for.
Yep. Absolutely. And I felt that they both like, yeah, this was a Deadpool movie, but I do think that Wolverine got plenty.
Oh yeah,
He's got plenty of good
this was
lines.
this was a this was 48 out Marvel 48 hours,
Yep. Absolutely.
in which I loved every ounce of it. Which I've said from the beginning when they were talking about this, that's what it needed to be.
Yeah. But we only have a little left here.
Okay.
They kill Cassandra. Paradox is arrested by Hunter B-15, who heads the TVA. If you know Loki, B-15 reveals that Wade and Logan's actions have stopped Wade's timeline from deteriorating. Wade requests B-15 free the others from the void before asking if it's possible to rewrite the history of Logan's timeline. B-15 replies that it was his history that made Logan the hero, needed to stop Cassandra, and there's nothing to fix. Logan, who wishes to retire and live a peaceful life, is taken by Wade to meet his friends along with Laura. On Logan's encouragement, Wade reconciles with Vanessa. I like the idea that we might, the door is now open for possible more
Well, in the fact that
Blade,
I don't know how
Gambit.
many times Deadpool joked about that they're going to make Logan do it until he's 90.
Yeah. And how does it, and then he walks away and you're like, oh, okay, because this really is his last time. But
Right.
then,
You see them all together. Yeah.
and you're like, maybe he'll come back as, look, Old Man Logan is a thing. I mean, we had the Logan movie, which kind of goes there, but it's not really Old Man Logan. But
No.
like Old Man Logan, there's plenty of time for him to play that if we want him to.
Oh yeah.
If he'll do it.
Well,
And it would be
honestly,
fine.
if they do it, within reason, there's enough time for Hugh Jackman. Because I mean, yeah, he's older. He's a couple years older than me, I think. But he could still play Wolverine, a decent Wolverine, in anything that he's done.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
look at him in this movie, which they literally just got done filming. You know,
He has clearly aged, but he's not aged
right?
out.
I mean, you've got an X-23 and Wolverine movie would be awesome to see.
But I guess my thing is like, how long does he want to do this to himself?
Right.
He already retired once.
Well, but the thing is I've seen some interviews, and he talked, about like the original costume, and then like in taking 20 years, and also the comment in the movie, it only took 20 fucking years.
Yep.
But, it was an interview with Hugh Jackman talking about seeing the costume. And he's
Yep.
like, I'm wishing I have more time playing this character in such an iconic costume.
Sure. It looks
So it's
great.
like in the back of his mind now, like, you know, if I've got the opportunity in the next couple of years to put that suit on again,
Maybe
I'm
he
gonna
will.
take it just
Yeah.
because. Yeah. So
But I mean, I also would be totally fine with this being it. And if we get a new Wolverine, great. I'm ready to
right,
move on. It's
right.
fine. If there's going to be an all new X-Men with all new people, then let's just do it.
Yeah.
Let's rip the
Let's
band-aid off.
yeah, exactly.
But, I'm so glad that it was him in this movie. It really only works because it's him. So yeah, no, I'm happy to see it. And it is one of those things where it is some nice, almost feels like closure on 20 plus years
I
of
was gonna say
X-Men
this gave
movies.
more of a closure, as much of an ending as Logan was, and I did love that movie a lot. This almost seemed like for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine,
Yeah.
this was a better closure, like
What I
a
like
full
is that,
circle kind of.
well, it doesn't, it really doesn't affect the ending of Logan at all, if you
No,
ask me, because
no,
he's dead.
yeah,
All we know is that Deadpool digs him up later. But it doesn't affect the legacy of that whatsoever. This is
right.
like a bonus victory lap that shouldn't work as well as it does, but totally does.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. I haven't seen like, I know they'll be out tomorrow, but I'm hearing like almost a $300 million weekend, $350 million
I read
weekend
somewhere
for this movie.
450.
Yeah, I
So,
mean it's
it's going to make money. It's
yeah.
already making money and with good reason. So,
Well, and that's what I said. I mean, this should give every bit of evidence to Marvel, give the fans and the original fans and the hardcore fans what they want, and you will make a shit ton of money. on a movie.
Yep.
You don't have to go seeking out these new audiences. You know, if you put something good out that they love, of the characters they love, with respecting them,
Sure.
you're gonna make the money.
Yeah, obviously. There it is.
So we'll see
Yeah,
what
there it is.
happens. See what happens.
Yep. But no, my closing thoughts are
Right.
I had a great time. It's super fun. If you followed along, even if you've dipped out of the MCU in the last couple of years,
Right.
you should still probably check this one out. Like if you do love the old ones, if you love the X-Men movies,
Right.
if you've enjoyed the comics, you should check it out.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Like I said, when it's done good, I'm done right. I'm more than happy with fan service. And this was a
That's what
lot. There
this
was a
was, baby.
lot of fan service, and I'm
Absolutely.
fine with it. Every outside,
Absolutely.
I'm fine with it. So,
But that's all I have.
yeah, pretty
Anything else
much.
for you?
No, not really. We actually just got a little hint for next episode. We
Let's
got
just say
a
that comics will be discussed further. But a
yes,
comic that you haven't read yet,
right,
that you could read in the future.
yes.
More will be revealed next time.
Hint, hint, hint.
Woohoo!
All right, well,
Follow us on the socials. Please join the Discord, please.
yes,
Please. Yeah, and
like, share the show.
if you're somehow watching this on YouTube, I don't know, people say, what do you say on there? So like and subscribe. Is that what we're
Yeah,
supposed to say?
I think that's it.
Do it, you sicko.
Yeah.
All right, that's it.
All right, we'll have fun.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll be seeing you again.
Bye.
Bye.